I opened 2 beers and sat back with mine while Brady's got warm, and he explained in gloomy detail how much his ass was hurting from laying golden eggs. Then I went to work on his beer as he sobbed through a list of all the ways his lucrative music career had soured into a curse that left him creatively dissatisfied, uncomfortably comfortable. Poor fucking baby. I fetched a tissue for his tears, found an empty pizza box and flipped it over in my lap, picked up a scarlet Sharpie and walked my skinhead newlywed husband through a greasy worksheet of assets, liabilities, and equity. I found some cost of living forecasts online, converted the American dollar to pounds sterling, and projected 18 years of child support that would commence once the cells Brady left inside his partner were done dividing, started breathing, and needing things like new shoes and tuition. Brady sniffled quietly over the bottom line of my financial intervention. "That's without adjusting for inflation," I said. He flinched when I pressed my palm against his cheek with the setting of my wedding ring aimed inward. I wanted to remind him who the fuck I was, reinforce the fact that we were in this together. "I know you're hurting without Kev," I said, "but this is business. Can you get your shit together and do business with me?" Brady blew his nose and nodded. He folded the tissue to a blunt point and swabbed each nostril in turn, a repulsive habit that made me think of that gross kid in grade school, the one who threw up on every field trip and was always sick with something. I made Brady wash his hands and took him to bed to positively reinforce his stiff upper lip British behavior. It was the first time we were intimate as man and wife, and it was awkward. Mechanical and frustrating, like moving furniture around tight corners and up steep stairs with a partner who insists on turning to his left instead of your left. We stopped without speaking and separated in the darkness. In the morning, I feigned sleep as he dressed for a press event. I hurried to the window and watched Brady walk away like a cartoon character, shadowed by a rain cloud on a sunny day, hands in his pockets, back slack under stooped shoulders. Manipulating him to finish the tour was the right move. Citizen Samurai recovered some of its online following once Brady put a ring on it and promoted me from home-wrecking road fuck to the real thing. Unsold tickets disappeared overnight thanks to the media storm we kicked up in France, and Melanie was fielding press inquiries around the clock. I would do anything to delay Midnight's arrival, postpone the inevitable moment when the wheels would wobble off my Cinderella coach to leave me in the street as fortune found me, barefoot, dressed in last year's rags, working nights and straddling a motherfucking pumpkin. The only part that stung was the sight of Brady looking like someone shot his dog and made him watch. I wasn't conflicted about breaking him in, but I never wanted to see him broken. Now he sat stiffly at my hospital bedside, biding his time behind a bored smirk as I rambled and stuttered, halting when my clumsy thoughts reached a cliff and the next word wouldn't come. The bombing somehow hardened his wet spaghetti spine into a piece of steel pipe, and I was the broken one, rendered a miserable wreck with foul body odor, heavy lady funk, bad breath, and greasy hair. Pharmaceutically hobbled, my mind was a dull instrument, incapable of persuasion. Working a subtle angle against Brady was like trying to pick a lock with a soft stick of butter. Brady dragged his chair around the foot of the bed to my sighted side. He muted the television, sat with clasped hands, and waited until I met his eyes with mine. A prickly veil of irritation settled over my skin as Brady cleared his throat and issued a stale arrangement of facts he had planned and canned to serve up for this occasion. 5 Ways, he said, is not a warm and fuzzy brotherhood. It's a corporation, and I'll have a piece of the pie no matter who stands on that stage. John's spoken to Pete Doherty about taking my place after Glastonbury. Our streaming sales are breaking some of Taylor Swift's records, and I've used the advance from my publishing deal to establish a trust for Susanna and the baby. He huddled closer in his chair. Sore and swollen in its socket, the remains of my gouged eye turned like a worm in rotten fruit, faithfully tracking the path of my good eye as I watched Brady reach inside his jacket pocket. I can retire from performing, he said. get you specialized care without humiliating myself on a reality show, baking pies, eating bugs in the fucking jungle. None of that. He held up his phone. And I found a home for us. Margaret, look at it. I strained to focus as he swiped through pictures of a country manor house. Green fields, dry stone walls, a pond bristling with ragged robin and reed mace, a remodeled stable with skylights set between hand-hewn rafters. Son of a bitch, I was looking at Brady's rabbit ranch, an elaborate dim-wit dream he described one night while we were talking deep and real after a show in Prague. He imagined a rustic rural property with room for free-range chickens, a vegetable garden, and a separate structure suitable for use as a recording studio. Brady was eager to embrace his inner Eno, produce new talent on his own label, and leave his boy band days behind. How the fuck did this happen? The explosion that left me horribly disfigured and unable to walk to the bathroom without assistance somehow boosted Brady's career with booming back catalog sales and a publishing deal. The offers Melanie forwarded to me were not star-caliber queries, but sideshow scraps. Invitations to melt down under the supervision of a daytime talk show host and a live studio audience. Pity pieces for Parade or People magazine, where I'd reveal how yoga and journaling helped me find myself and move forward. Uplifting fluff filled with photos of Brady and I preparing a meal in a sitcom clean kitchen, grinning like idiots and walking hand in hand along the water's edge at sunset. My most profound revelations would appear in breakout quotations on each page. Smug bits of wisdom like tidy haiku about the alchemy of silver linings, tragedy plus love over time. This painful journey has shown me I am stronger than I ever knew. Had I been blinded in both eyes, they might have knighted Brady. If I'd been killed, perhaps they would have made him king. I'll hire a visiting physio team to help with your balance, he said. Get you back on your feet. Get you playing again. The master bedroom has... I snatched Brady's phone and flung it into the hall. Unmuted the television and glowered as the spinning Sky News weather globe slowed to show the temperature in Windhoek. Brady calmly stood and left the room to retrieve his phone. I wouldn't see him again until the morning after the Graham Norton show.